All right, everyone. So today's topic is more about how to prepare yourself for a job interview, and basically what are the most frequently asked questions. And by the time, if you have done a lot of interviews already, you can have a sense of what kind of questions people will ask. But for those young people that haven't have or basically experienced the job interview yet, or any professional job interview, I'll just give you some hints. So these are my five most, I think, the most frequently asked questions of in a job interview. So number one is basically tell us a little bit about yourself. So that is very important because people want to know who you are, and then you have to explain to them. The second one is what are your strengths and weaknesses, and that is a lot of people that ask this basically. Why do you want this job is the third one. Basically, why do you fit to this organization, or why do we need to choose you? Number four is where do you see yourself in, particularly they always use like 3 or 5 years to see if you're committed basically. And number five is do you have any more questions? Yeah. So these are the top five, and I'll explain a little bit how you can prepare yourself for these job interviews. All right. Tell me a little bit about yourself. That is a lot of time that you heard about it, and it's not a tricky question. It's just basically asking who you are. You explain most of the time the experiences you have that fits the job. And then you go through basically your name, where you're coming from, and the jobs that you have done so far, and basically telling the organizations about, yes, my name is X, I come from XYZ, and I have done this job before, so I think I'm fit for this position because I have this kind of experiences, and you won't regret basically telling. So the number one thing is you need to try to keep it short. It's like an elevator pitch, and don't go through it too long, okay? Because if you go through it too long, then people will get bored, and then they don't really think that you are basically to the point. So it's very important when you do that about telling yourself who you are, and just keep it short. It's like when in an elevator pitch, meaning that if you find someone in an elevator and people like to introduce yourself to another person, then you have to keep it short. Just tell them who you are. Okay? Just if I will sum it up, you can just do 5 to 7 sentences telling who you are. All right, so number two is what are your strengths and weaknesses. It's basically the SWOT analysis that most of us interviewer like to ask you is what are your strengths, the S, what are your weaknesses, the W. They never ask you, of course, about the O and T, the opportunities and threats, but it's okay. Basically, just remember SWOT analysis, your strengths and weaknesses. Why is that important? So I just mentioned that the first one, if you capture it already in the first, telling the people who you are by your experiences and blah, 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 then it's a little bit too long. So basically, you can keep it short and tell people more about your strengths and weaknesses. How do you do that? A lot of people use the STAR method, which I think is still overused, but it's okay, you can still use that. What I mean about the STAR method is the situation, the task that you have, the action that you took, and the results, the STAR. So the situation, the task, the action you took, and the results you got. So that's very important. That's the STAR method. And I see a lot of people, when you prepare, it doesn't have to be strengths and weaknesses, but most of us are in that direction. All right? All right, let's go further. So the third one, that is basically, why do you want this job? Basically, why are you fit for this job? So when you say why you are fit to this job, is most of the time focusing on yourself. About the STAR method is very useful still for in this situation. Why do you think you are useful? I mean, you are fit to this job. Telling people more about the thing that you have done so far. Especially when you say the STAR method, the situation that the previous employer gave you, how you have handled that in a more concrete manner. You can go into detail, depends on the person that you're in the interview with. But if it's the first interview, it's most of the time the HR, the human resource, so it's not needed. Don't go into detail that much until you have the second or the third interview. And then the action you took, and then also the most important one is the results you got. Why is that important? It's because the thing that the interviewer likes to see is that how do you cope with stress. So if things goes wrong, what did you do? And most of the time, not everything goes according to plan. Sometimes 99% of the time it will not go according to plan. Either you have to change the schedule or change the method. And that's why I said to a lot of people that you need to focus how you prepare your interview. And if you don't prepare, then things can go very wrong. All right? Okay, let's go to the other one that we were doing, number 4. So number 1, tell us a little bit about yourself. Number 2, tell the strengths and weaknesses. Number 3 is more about why do you want this job? Basically, why do we should choose you? Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? It's also important because people want to know, number 4, about are you committed? Are you a person who is jumping from one job to another, or are you a person that will stay with us longer so we can train you? Because most of the corporations, especially big corporations, they like to groom people. They want someone that can be with them longer period of time, and they are sometimes are not so keen to hire people who are just short term here and then go away in maybe in 2 or 3 years time. So it depends on the position you are. If you're a consultant, of course, then you will go for one position to another. But if you are someone who wants to stay with a firm for a longer period of time, then be careful what kind of job you're applying to, because some of them, they really want people to stay longer so they can train you up, and the training costs money, so the corporation wants to only invest. They call themselves this investment opportunities for young people. So be careful how you answer this question. All right, last but not least, number 5, it's very important to ask 1 or 2 questions after each interview. It's a cliche that many people will just ask, how much can I get paid or something. Some people like to ask that early on so that they have a good impression. No, don't do that. Most important part is not the payment. When you're young, meaning that if you're just started up finding a job after college or anything, the money is not important. The people you work with is very important, because they are the one that will define your life. So search for someone with the quality that you admire, that you want to learn from, and that's more important than the salary you get. Because when you're 20s or early 30s, then you have to have a coach, someone that you admire, because eventually he or she will be basically your mentor. Okay, that's very important. So ask question like a job position, more detail about the day-to-day activities that you will be doing. That's a very good way to start. Or when you look at the job description and you found out some of those wordings or anything you don't know, you look up on Google and you still don't understand, you just ask them, because then people know that you are serious and you are engaged with them. All right. So I hope these five most frequently asked questions will help you. But all in all, you have to be yourself, dress up correctly, and don't overdo it. Just be yourself. It's very important, because in the end of the day, when the probation period goes expire, then you don't want to redo the whole process again, because then you're not true to yourself. All right, be true to yourself, and yeah, good luck, and let me know how it goes in the comments below after your probation period. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye. Oh yes, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe or share this video with someone that you think is needed to hear. Thank you so much.